Hello? Hello? I'm here. I'm back. I've returned to you. I already talked about why I was gone in the Discord. If you want to know, um, ask me for the Discord link and I'll give you the Discord link and you can read about it rather than fill up more space here. Um, but, yeah, suffice it to say, I was gone for family reasons. And now we're back. And I was just putting a couple things away while the ad ran. Not much has changed in here. We have a few new odds and ends that have shown up since I last filmed. I need a new place for these because every time I pull them out of the cupboard there, they bump the camera. And I just discovered, while hooking everything up just now, that I had bumped the camera out of position and I had to reposition it because you were seeing part of the trash and part of the floor and it wasn't great. These bowls I guess can't live there. These are the chopsticks bowls. They work like this. Or here, they work like this. So the chopsticks can sit over the top of them. There's a space for them on this shelf, but they're kind of too tall. They're not too wide, they're too tall. So when I pull them out, they bump the camera, which is right there. So I got to think about where to put them, and I'm not sure. So they're kind of going to hang out. The slicer, we're not going to use the slicer today, so we have no reason to haul it in here. The slicer, I think, also was new since, because the last time I filmed was Donut Day. So the slicer, there's it's not going to look new. It's not going to look new because you've seen these a million times. But I found the same set of measuring cups, so I grabbed them. Well, it was exciting for me. But yeah, so I guess step one today is we have to get this tuna out of its container and see if my experiment worked at all. Wee Former, you're here right at the start. Hi, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. 5 months. Oh, has it been that short? It always says no backseating. Or no, it says backseating. Backseating is allowed. It doesn't say no backseating. That says backseating. It says no spoilers. Here's our piece of tuna. It's a little bit less vibrantly red since it's been in there. I hope that's not a bad sign. I do have a backup piece of meat of a completely different kind, in case I need it, in case this has gone weird in the vacuum seal. For a reminder, what's in there is I ended up not putting the sesame oil on it, so it's just some sake, some Chinese cooking wine, which the bottle's tucked away now. It's basically really cheap sake with a lot of salt in it. And a little bit of mirin, which is a thick, sweet rice wine that is used mostly for cooking as well. Because I wanted this, from having made gravlax in the past, a little bit of alcohol can help get rid of a lingering slight fishiness if you're... Oh, thank you. I forgot I had a haircut since the last since the last stream. It's been so long, I forgot all the things that have happened. So a little bit of alcohol will pull out some of the fishiness of fish, if your fish is a little bit old. This is a little bit old, but also I wanted to see if I could like force some of that sake flavor and the salt into it. But I guess we're gonna find out. If I open this up and it stinks, it's going in the garbage, and we're going with the backup. Either way, it needs to get out of here to find out. And if it's bad, then we throw it away. And if it's good, then it needs to dry off a little bit because it can't be cooked from, well, it can be cooked from wet, but it'll cook better if we dry it off first. Oh. This is the results of the vacuum sealer, which we don't see a lot of action here in the kitchen, but it sees more use off camera. You never need an excuse for taking a break. I would give you a shout out, but I think it's just you and me here right now. Okay. He's out. It doesn't immediately hit me with a smell of fish, so that's a good sign. It's firmed up quite a lot from when I put it in there. And I wonder if that's, I don't know if that's the salt or the alcohol. It smells very clean. It smells very clean. Like this. Okay, this side has a little bit of a texture on it from the textured side of the plastic. The other side does not. It smells extremely clean. Like it doesn't even smell like fresh fish. It just smells like kind of nothing, which I was not expecting. I guess that's a good sign that it's not gone off in the package. And I did say that the alcohol kind of pulls away the fishy smell. And I guess if you just leave it in there, it pulls away more of the fish smell so that it's just very blank. Interesting. Well, we're drying off the surface. Also, this piece of fish, I don't know why this was in the discount bin. This specific piece of tuna was in the discount bin, and it's enormous. It's not stinky, so we're going for it. There's no off odor to it at all. So we're not using the backup. Since I have the backup, we might do the backup tomorrow just to get it used up. Come in with a surprise backup. But yeah, it looks good. We're drying the juices off. We're gonna let it rest in the air a little bit, both to warm up a little bit because it's currently fridge cold, and also to dry the surface out a little bit, and we can start assembling other things. My idea is to give it a crust and a little bit of a flavor, sear it real quick so it's still almost raw in the middle, which you can do with tuna. And it does look good. I don't know if it's picking up the texture. It's got like a fabric texture, a texture of little squares on it, on just the one side. And that's because these vacuum bags are textured on one side and smooth on the other. So it's got a little bit of an imprint on it. But yeah, we're basically going to treat it like a steak. And we're going to shoot for a rare interior. Tuna, the way it's stored after being caught, is almost universally good to eat undercooked. It goes through the freezing process that you need to send fish through because it's caught out at sea, and they need to preserve it in transport back to land. The best way to do that is to flash freeze it. So you can use tuna for like a poke bowl, or you can just sear the outside and have the middle be rare, and it'll be good. Don't do that with salmon, unless you know your salmon is very clean. You can get clean salmon, but then you have to, like I have some, but I wouldn't trust the standard salmon to be that way. Whereas the standard for whole pieces of tuna, you can trust that. Bookwoman, hi! Welcome, welcome. We just pulled this out of the vacuum bag just a minute ago to see how it behaved. And it behaved well, so we're going to soldier forth with that. I wish I could taste it without cutting it to see how salty it's gotten. But yeah, I don't have to tell you about why I took a break. Oop, that's a fruit fly. That's something that happened. Oh my god. There you go. It has now been a few days. I had a crazy day. One day, and I lost count around 40, and they kept coming, of just flies that just absolutely invaded the house. Didn't see any before, haven't seen any since. It was gross, and also, I don't know where they came from. I couldn't find anything. That was last week. I found a mouse in the basement, but the mouse wasn't rotten, so I don't think that was it. But it was exactly the kind of thing. Something died somewhere, and they all came out all at once. And in this heat, it could have been just a day, because when it's hot, their life cycle is ridiculously fast. I've just rubbed a little bit of soy sauce all over the surface, which we're going to let dry in place, or at least sit there while we do other things. Just to get a little bit of seasoning in there. I never did. The mouse was the only thing I found. Nothing smells, nothing stinks. I couldn't find anything else. I haven't been here for a while, so I didn't have a bunch of rotting garbage because I took my garbage out and then I left. Everything was like cleared up and clean. I have no idea where they came from, and they haven't been back, which means whatever it isn't ongoing. So it was weird. We had it one time where it was literally out the back door there, and they just found gaps and came in. I never found it. I don't know. What am I going to serve this with? Only been. The thing is, this thing is going to be a very fast cook. Hi, TK. Thank you so much. I haven't really talked about it here on the live show, but thank you. It's been a week since the service, which has let me kind of get my head back in order. What was I saying? Yes, fruit fly. Um, this is not going to take very long to cook once we get that far. So I got to figure out what to prep around it. I was thinking either like, I don't have any lettuce, but I have cabbage. I was thinking either little cabbage rolls or like a rice bowl. And then this would be like a decorative topper. Or we could try a fancy like steak plating. What goes with it is part of the question here. I think we're going to include cabbage one way or another, which is why I got the cabbage out and it's sitting here ready to go. But aside from that, I've got rice, I've got radishes, I've got a different color of cabbage. I've got bok choy, but that kind of overlaps with the cabbage. We could try making a sauce. This is, at the moment, it's pretty lightly seasoned, but I'm intending to give it one of those fancy crusts because I've got my 2 different colors of sesame seeds and then some of these Korean chili flakes. So I was thinking of sort of making that into a crust on the surface before I grill it. Or, we're not grilling it, we're throwing it in a cast iron. So that's the... it's such a big piece. It could realistically be cut in half and used for 2 different things. The thing is, I don't want to cook this until we need it, because I don't want it to sit around and get cold. So we need to do all of our deciding. If I do wraps, we'll have some rice that goes in them. Obviously, if I do a rice bowl, there'll be rice there. Seared tuna goes with rice pretty well. So even if I do a fancy plating, we could do a side of rice. So I probably should get some rice. Yes. Yes, the tuna is dead until we open the box. That's what that means, right? I probably should get some rice going either way, because it sounds like anything I want to do is... Ooh, saffron rice. Saffron. Rice. Gosh, I haven't made saffron rice in a while. I forget how much you need. It could even be a boat. Okay, so we give this a think. Because I've also got plating options. A decorative, like steak plating. Thinking about plating before we even got. This thing is meant to be like a sushi plate. We haven't used it very often, but it could. And I've got a ton of red shiso growing in my herb patch. That would be a good decorative inclusion. So it sounds like I'm going to be doing a like fancy steak plating. Yeah, I didn't plan this out in advance. This is what I always do, except I usually do it before I start. And then I also like to do it while I'm at the grocery store so that I'm wandering around looking at things and I can actually like grab something if I don't have it. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty simple thing either way. We can include radishes. We could do a quick pickle on some red onion. Because if we're going to have a big piece of meat, then something bright, acidic, and crunchy would be a good complement, but we don't have a ton of time to get a quick pickle in, so we have to do that right now and then hope it's got enough to pull through. What else we got down here at the bottom? I've got some of that tomato sauce. I don't think that's an appropriate accompaniment. Bok choy is very similar to cabbage. I suppose if we do a decorative plating. Isosceles, hi! I see you there. I'm down here. I suppose if we do a decorative plating, bok choy, if we grill it real fast, would look better than cabbage leaves. But cabbage leaves would let us make little like cabbage rolls for eating. And saffron rice. How much saffron do you put in saffron rice? Pretty basic saffron rice. I suppose we'll start doing stuff. We're going to slide this guy to the side. I think we're in a good... little dish of water. Oop. Don't mind that. That had my name on the top. So you just take some saffron and you just dink it in the water there. And it will bloom in the water. I should peel my name off the top of this bottle. There's no reason to have my name on top of the saffron. I don't know how well it's going to show up. It's kind of showing up. It will rapidly color the water. I may have taken a little bit too much saffron there. You don't need very much. I've had the saffron for a while. It smells like saffron. All right, I just abruptly decided that I needed to peel my name off the top of this pill bottle, even though it's not been a problem for ever and ever and ever. So what we're doing here is we're hydrating the threads and starting the extraction of the color and the flavor. There. Now it just says Shopko. The defunct store that the pill bottle came from. Okay. Making saffron rice. The saffron is the main event. So we're just going to be, yes, it's getting quite yellow in there now. I shouldn't do that in the rice cooker. I should do that in a proper pot. Which means we have to do rice properly, which I hate doing rice properly. Oh, we don't need a ton of rice. Oh my God. Fraz. This is, oh my God. Welcome, Raiders. You surprised me. Demand an actual ton of rice. Welcome, welcome. Raiders, Fraz, hello. I am Jovial. Jovian. This is my first stream back from a pretty extended hiatus due to a death in the family. And we're doing tuna and apparently saffron rice. And I was just about to start making the rice. Hold on. Let me shout out Fraz. Fraz, isn't it like really late where you are? Why are you just ending now? Spell is always there's that mysterious extra H in your name. Baldur's Gate 3. See, it is late. Okay, we're gonna slide back over here. So, what we were just talking about was saffron. We have a tuna steak that I'm going to be crusting. We've been ruminating over how we're going to prepare it, and we've decided in kind of a decorative plating with a side of saffron rice and some. I think we're going to go with the grilled bok choy. No. But the next step is rice. And I have to make this properly because I don't trust the rice cooker enough to handle my saffron for my saffron rice. So we're making rice the real way, which I don't usually do. I usually just chuck it in the rice cooker and let it go. We don't have a camera over by the sink, but I will be rinsing this rice until there's no white liquid coming out of it. If you're not following Frass, you're missing out. Frassoir is a delightful streamer. Does long, extended plays of entire game franchises that take years and years, and I don't know how he sticks to it, and I don't know how he doesn't go insane. I would get a camera over here. It might be too hard to get a camera over here. It would block everything to try to run a cable over here. But also there's not much to see on this end. Rinsed rice. Okay. The rice is rinsed. We need to why am I hauling it over from over there? Some water. Let's give it a spritz of salt. Well, it sounds like it's late in Frassland, so if you've got to run, fear not. And thank you so much for bringing your folks over here. Hi. I'm flustered because I never get raids that big. Okay. I haven't made rice from scratch in so long because the cooker does all the work for me. We're gonna do a quick pile of butter. No, that's wrong. It'd be tasty, but it's wrong. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm already doing. So I guess I'm on warm. It's been pretty warm here. Let me know if you hear the AC if it interrupts anything. It's in the other room, so it shouldn't be picking anything up. It's not any louder than the fridge. But if for some reason it does, let me know. Our saffron has gone very yellow in its little dish here. Lime. Oh, I do have limes. I'm not going to throw in lime now, but we can add a little bit of lime zest to our rice at the end. And then we can have the lime juice for our fish. Almost forgot. That has to go in there. Don't want to waste that. It's 1,000 times more expensive than gold or something like that. I forget what the actual numbers are. And we picked this pot because this pot comes with a lid. One of my few pots that have a lid. So we're going to get that up to a simmer. And then turn it down, and it should come out as a nice, lovely, perfumed yellow rice. Okay. Rice jar, go away. Onion. I like the idea of getting some contrasting colors going on today. So we're going to, this is a huge onion. Usually when you do pickled onion, you guys are over there. Usually when you do pickled onion, you use a red onion, but my red onion is bigger than my piece of tuna. I could just pickle the whole thing and call it good because I'll have extra, and extra pickled onion is always good. It won't go to waste. Or we could shoot for pickled shallot instead. And I think we're going to do that because it sounds fancy. And I have a half a shallot here that needs to get used up because now that it's been, because it was broken in half at some point in the past by me, and now that it has been, it's not going to keep quite as well. So if you've never done a quick pickle for an onion, typically you use a red onion. You want 1 part vinegar to 1 part water and some salt and some sugar. And I forget it. I think I used 1 tablespoon of salt and 1 of sugar to each 1 cup of water, and no, each 1 cup of water vinegar mix. My saffron rice. Whoa! The heck, you are boiling that hard. Why are you boiling so hard? I didn't even have it turned all the way up. I had it turned up to just a little bit above medium, and it wanted to go completely nuts on me. Okay, well, shows you how much I do rice in the pot, and that's not often. What was I talking about? Something about onions. I've lost track. Probably wasn't important. Why did that boil so abruptly? Good thing I had the lid on it, otherwise I would have had a big foam over. Okay, so we're just going to do a small amount of quick pickled shallot. I think that the pale lavender here will look good with what else is going on, and these are also small enough that I think they will pickle faster than the red onion. And since we just have a tiny amount of it, we just need a small container. I'm not going to bother measuring, we're just going to eyeball. Some salt. And approximately same sum sugar. And then half vinegar, half water. Maybe slightly less than half water, because that was a little bit more vinegar than I think I needed. Okay, now hopefully, because I'm using shallots and they're small, they will be a little bit pickly by the time we need them. Just chuck them in the fridge. Okay. Rice. Let's take a peek at the rice. It boiled over while I was... Now it's too low. This is why I don't do rice by hand anymore. Okay. So the rice is yellow. The shallots are purple. The tuna is bright red. There's going to be some green lime. I don't know how to include any blue. It's the most difficult color to get a hold of. We're also going to monitor this for a minute because I would rather not waste some saffron by ruining the rice. Flavor-wise, we're going to have sesame, we're going to have ginger. We could make a sauce. We could make a quick little sauce. Orange and blue. Well, I could make the saffron rice orange if I just added a bunch more saffron. I don't know that I'm going to get blue. I don't have anything that's blue. I never did find that blue spirulina. And I don't have any blueberries. Not that they're blue, they're more purple when you actually cook them. I kind of want a light. It's already going to be sesame. The sauce should be something sweet and acidic, probably. I could include lime juice. Which would cover our acidic. I could dye the sauce blue. That does sound like a thing that could be done. I won't argue there. I don't think it would look good on the plate. Oh, all right. I'm also working a little bit hesitantly because I really don't want that to get ruined. So. I'm going to want to zest some lime. This is the freshest lime. This was a lime from before that has dried out a bit. Oop, you guys are over there. This is a fresh lime I just got. And this was a lime that I had before I took my hiatus and shrunk up a little bit. Okay. I just have to commit. Oh, these are new too. There's the pot. You can keep watching the pot. So if I grab a little bit of rice wine vinegar, a little bit of mirin, some spices. There's not going to be any black pepper in our crust, so adding it to the sauce and having like a black pepper sauce. And the sauce is going to be used loosely here because I'm not planning on thickening this at all. It's going to be quite a sort of thin, watery thing. Really pulverize that. You guys keep watching that pot while I do things over here. You can barely see in the little tiny corner. Did I bump that again? I might have bumped the camera again. As soon as I bring you over here, we're going to have a boil over probably. Tiny whisk. Tiny whisk was washed and is over here. Let's tiny whisk the pepper in. We're going pretty basic here, although I used a seasoned rice vinegar, so there's a little bit of salt and sugar in it. That's not bad. It's acidic. It's very sharp. If I let the pepper infuse into it a little bit and give it a little bit of lime, it's very peppery. It's too peppery on its own, but it's not meant to be eaten on its own. It's a sauce. You want it to be too punchy. And I'm thinking just like you take a piece and you just sort of dab, and that's what we're going for with it. Right? Sounds good. I don't know how long to do that rice. I haven't done rice in so long, I've lost a sense of how long rice in the pot takes. Once upon a time, I always did it this way. And then I got the rice cooker, and I just forgot my roots. And you can't do deep water with saffron rice because you'll just boil away your saffron and waste it and flush it down the drain, which is not good. It's got to get all perfectly infused. I guess we're going to sit around a little bit and wait. I could crust my tuna while we wait, actually. Because it's just sitting here and the surface is slightly shiny still, but it's not real wet anymore. Well, it's kind of wet on the bottom. Let's make a dish of mixed stuff to crust it with, and then it can kind of attempt to set in place. So we're going sesame oil, 2 kinds of sesame seed, and the gochugaru, but half as much. Get that mixed together. Awkwardly judge if I have enough. I'd rather have a little bit too much than too little, so we're going to add another little dose of everything. If I have too much, it can be a decorative sprinkle or something. Taking a dab of oil, coating our surface. Let's press it in. Then we flip it. Dab of oil. Should have done this with my other hands. Let's get that around the sides. Crusting my hands as much as I'm crusting the tuna. This one fruit fly has decided to come join the fun. I'm sure it's because of the vinegar in the sauce. Okay. Wow, did we make a mess? And I'm glad I added a little bit extra because I definitely lost some in the process of that. Okay. We should check on our rice again. Oh gosh, what time is we looking at? It was a bit of a mess. I know, you're not supposed to peek at it. Oh, it sounds dry. It sounds like I have run out of liquid at the bottom. So, is it cooked? Or did I ruin it by opening the lid repeatedly? It's slightly under. It's just slightly, but it is just slightly under. How do we fix it being just slightly under? What it needs is just like the dabbiest dab of steam and no additional heat. Throw that on the top there to, I mean, more liquid cook longer, but I don't want to ruin it in the process. I don't want to make it mushy. So What I've done is I've just added a splash more water. The bottom of the pot and the burner are still hot. The water started to sizzle as soon as I put it in there. And then I slapped the lid on it. And hopefully there's enough steam in there to just push it over the edge. And we'll just kind of let it sit and think about what it's done. I got a black sesame seed in my jar of white sesame seeds. So that burner's off, so that's not going to boil over. A little bit left there that can be a decorative add-on at some point. You know, I wish I had some like ginger juice. Let's making a mess again. Ginger's looking a little bit gnarly, but I don't need much. A little bit gnarly, don't need much. I want to get some ginger in there. So I don't have ginger juice. What we're going to do is we're going to mince this up, and we're going to get it in there and let it sort of soak. We're going to be really delicate because this knife is not the correct knife, and it is very sharp. There's that fruit fly. We're going to have to set a trap for him. And scallion, which I'm going to run outside real quick, grab a scallion, and I guess grab some shiso while I'm out here. Scallion top. Whoop! Shoot! Whoa! My mic pack caught on the door. That was almost a big mess. Okay. I want a decorative amount of scallion. In my weird little sauce. And this is our red shiso, and I just sort of cut the top of this one. And I'm thinking they can be decorative on the plate. I could go cut more. There's a ton of this stuff out there. Oh, it smells so good. I'm going to cut a second one to get a couple more of those large leaves. I'm growing this stuff for a reason. I may as well use it. I set aside those slightly wrinkled leaves. We've got a couple more of these large ones. This stuff seeded itself so densely that when I cut away the top ones, there are more completely filling sort of an understory ready to surge up through the opening. They're so choked in. I don't know. I'll work that out in a minute. Let's take another peek at our rice. It looks yellow. It looks steamy. Yellow and steamy. And tender. That was just right. We did get some starch up on the sides on it from when it boiled up. Okay. Okay. I should practice doing rice for real like this, because I clearly have the timings and temperatures all weird. Tastes good. I'm glad I added a little bit of salt. We're gonna put a lid on that just to keep it in there. Now that burner is not hot. Let's bring out the main event pan and get it hot. I'm gonna throw that in there. We're gonna clean this board off so that it can come out to the board. Okay, I think I'm committing to the next phase while my pan is heating up. I'm gonna slice a radish. Ooh, maybe I'm not. Yeah, I am, but not all of them. Some of those radishes are looking pretty gnarly. Let's scrub it off a little bit. I hate that I can only find radishes in bags, because I would use them more often if I could just like get a handful of radishes. Because the bagged radish gives me more radish than I need. I don't use that much radish. Okay. Over here with me. We're going to use the big side of our box grater and just go. You gotta get some motion on it, and then you get these radish coins. And the bottom one always doesn't want to quite cut right. Radished. Okay. 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 I say okay a lot. I've noticed. Have you noticed? I've noticed. I say okay a lot. I've no oil in that pan. We're just doing it by feel. Let's move that out of the way so it does not get heated by proximity. We're doing it by feel and also by sizzle, and it's not quite where I want it to be. Okay. 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 We're going to get the oil ready. So we're going to oil it just before I put the fish in it, because that's supposed to help things not stick if the oil is cold, rather than have the oil heat up. Now the oil gets hot very quickly once you add it to the pan, so it's not like it's cold oil, but I've heard, and this might not apply to fish, I know what it's supposed to be for beef steak, that you oil the pan just before you put the meat in, and it helps the meat not stick to the pan even more. So that's the plan. I'm using the water test, in which you just put a drip of water on the pan and see what it does. And what I'm looking for is it sizzles immediately, but I would like it to skitter a little bit. It kind of sits where it lands and then and boils away. I'd like it to be hot enough that it sort of skitters around the pan, because that indicates that it's boiling instantaneously as opposed to taking a split second. Well, boiling faster than the droplet can fall. Because again, I want a good hot pan for a good sear, because we want the middle of this tuna to still be a little bit better. We want the middle of this tuna to still be pretty red when we're done. And I have a bad habit of overcooking pieces of meat in pans, which is another reason I probably should use my backup and do a show, because it's a different piece of meat that I should practice. And I have to eat it regardless because I prepped it. I think that's... No. No, not quite. I don't like those little balls. It picked something up from the pan, and then boiled it away. Isosceles, you're first. Welcome in. I can't believe no one was here before you. Amazing. As the first one in, I welcome you. You're just in time for the most exciting part, which is we're putting that on that until it is food. Oh, I'm calling it good enough. Boil it up. Swirl it around so we got nice good coverage. Bring your board over, grab your piece of meat, and just go plunk. And then while that gets started, I will clear up this extra board. I shan't need it. Okay. clean up my workspace a little bit too. Because I made a mess. Should have done the sprinkling of the seeds over the sink, probably. Although then you guys couldn't have seen it. This, that, and this. I feel like that needs a little bit more volume to it, which we can accomplish with the lime. I was going to zest some lime into our saffron rice anyways, so this smells like it needs to be flipped. Maybe? Or am I smelling the seeds that fell off? I smell toasty sesame seeds. And I see smoke. So I smell toasty sesame seeds and I see smoke, so I'm flipping it. Right? 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 Yes. Committed. Too late. Okay, we don't need more oil. Oil can go away. We don't need more water. The water can be back over here. Ow. 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 I'm going to zest some lime. I'm glad that the seeds on that side stayed and didn't all fall off. That's a good sign. I'm going to take about half of this lime into our saffron rice. Stir it through real quick. Lid that back up. Lime joins me over here with a bigger knife because I will definitely cut myself trying to do what I was just about to do. Cut it in half that way. Get some decorative slices out of it for the plate. Check on our thing. Hope the bottom isn't burned. Does not look burned. We're gently searing off the sides. I don't want to scrape along the surface too hard because I don't want to lose a lot of seeds. Okay, heat off. You're coming with me. Oh, I did that the wrong way around. I definitely should have moved the board over to the thing. That's smoking hard, so I'm going to get that off the heat. It's the sesame seeds and the rest of the crust. The bits that fell off are definitely burning. Definitely should have lifted the board over to the pan and not picked up the fish out of the pan, carried it across the kitchen, and laid it on the board that I had not previously cleaned off. That was the stupidest way to do that. But now we're over here. I have some lime wedges. I wanted to add some lime to this. So the zested half of the lime, which doesn't look good on the plate, is getting added to our little juice. Added to our little juice. I keep setting things down. I keep walking away and setting things down. Where did I put my tiny whisk? The tiniest of the whisk. I don't know. I'm using my finger. Okay. We're going to taste that in a sec with the tasting spoon. A little bit of that, a little bit of this. Okay. We have some extra limes for the plate. We have some extra shiso for the plate. I think we're zooming in on plating. The fish is going to rest for a sec, but fish isn't as juicy as land meat. So we aren't as worried about letting it rest as we would be with a steak. My hand is very sticky from... Ooh, I was going to add a little bit of bok choy. And I had thought I was going to use that same pan to do it, but the way that the sesame seeds that fell off burned, I don't want to. I don't want to. So... And I don't like raw bok choy, so I think we're switching back to cabbage. Let's try to get the next leaf off cleanly. Yeah. And then just one leaf should be plenty. I could make it like a bed. Especially if I take the the rib out. Oh, thank you for the follow. I just saw it. I was very busy over the past few minutes, and I just saw it just now. Thank you so much. Let's put it this way. Covers up our plate a little bit, but I think having the fish lay on the top of the cabbage will look nice, right? Right? Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Could be. That's going on the side. I guess our little shiso party here is going to be a decorative corner. And then I can do a decorative corner of radish. Two lime wedges. Sauce is going to be separate. We need a little side dish for the rice. We're going all in, I guess, with this. Little side dish for rice. Which is the best? Boy, I haven't done a decorative plating in like a really fussy decorative plating in a hot minute. I'm just perusing all of my dishware. It would be nice if I had like a little black bowl like that style. But I do not. The only black bowl I have is too large. I want a smaller one. One of these. Or one of these. I like the idea of one of these because it's around the same size and I'll have two little extra dishes. Oh, the pickled shallots. That's right. They also need a little dish. That's right. Good shout. Also, we need to check on them and see how they are. They haven't been in there very long. Oniony. Sharp, acidic. Apparently I had some seeds on my finger just now. Honestly, pretty good. For how short of a time they were in there. Pretty good. Well, in that case, like so, like so, like so, and oh, even better. We did this once, and it worked pretty well. So I will just do that again, and hopefully it will work exactly as well. All right, I know I'm slightly off the bottom here. Perfect. You know what would be really extra? You know what would be really stupidly extra? Is if we just put a couple of saffron threads on top. Wasteful. You can hardly even see them. Wasteful. Very fancy. Excessively fancy. We haven't even added the meat yet. Like the actual... Sorry, there's chopsticks in my mouth. We haven't even added the actual like thing that I am here cooking. It's still over here. Okay, we're moving things out of my way. Oh, this is, we're being very extra today. We're being extremely extra today. Okay, the three little bowls are getting set aside so that this can be slid all the way back. so that this can be front and center. We're retrieving the slicer knife. Okay. And we're okay. Now the question, where do I attack this thing? I want to make like a spread of little slices. So like that way? Maybe? Gotta start somewhere. My crust is definitely just barely hanging on. Oop, but we're nice and pink on the inside, and I'm doing this backwards. This way, because it's the angle I'm coming at it. I mean, it looks pretty good. I think we nailed it. I think we hit. Licking my fingers. I think we hit what I'm going for. It's warm in the middle, but it's obviously still very rare. If we spread the slice, oop, it's flaking apart too, which is a good sign, I think. Because we don't want it to be raw, we just want it to be rare. And rare is not raw. Tell you what, we're losing a lot of our crust though. That's it's not sticking super well, and I don't know if there's anything we could have done about it. It is imparting a nice toasty flavor. I think I'm going to put one more piece on that end. But yeah, it looks great. It looks like pretty much exactly what I was going for. I've got a little knob of it left here. I can't believe this piece of fish was in a discount bin. First of all, it was just absolutely beautiful. If you have not seen the pictures of when it was raw, they're in my Discord channel. But it's, I mean, you can see it's about that thick. It was this beautiful piece of fish. It didn't have any of that sort of gnarly connective stuff that you sometimes see on the tuna, which I see on the ones that end up in the discount bin because they didn't get picked because they had some of that little gnarly stuff. This had none of that. When I opened it up, it was discount bin, so it was like use it today. But when I opened it up, it smelled completely fresh. Like, I don't think it was dated correctly. I think it was dated too early because it was definitely not discount bin quality. And then we gave it a little, yeah, this discount bin was, I mean, to be fair, there are 4 discount bins in town, and when I go out looking for discount stuff, I hit all 4 of them. So I am, when I say the discount bin, it was one of them. And that's my place service for this. I have to take a picture. I think I'm going to take a picture here with the white background, and then I'm going to go take one over in the photo section, and then we are going to dive in on tasting. If I can find my phone. I think the white background will actually help here. But just to hedge my bets, I'll take both. Oh, I gotta turn that off. I turn that off, I just need to move. Although the lighting is going to be better in there because I have the light set up. I mean, I find a bunch of gnarly stuff too. It's not like I go there and I always find winners. I find gnarly stuff as well, and I don't get it. And I've gotten some that I thought looked good, got home, and they were disasters, and they went right in the trash. Sometimes you don't quite work. This doesn't look super good. All the things floating around in there have sunk and turned brown. Try to not get the wall in this shot. Okay. Now we come back and we taste. I tend to skip the seafood in the discount bin because seafood, when it starts going off, goes off very quickly. So half the time, by the time I get it home, it'll look worse than when I picked it up. Especially shellfish. I've only gotten shellfish out of the discount bin once or twice. Very rarely, because shellfish goes off so fast. Okay. Well, I didn't make as big of a meal as I thought I was going to, which is good because I'm supposed to be eating a little bit less because I've got a little bit of a tummy from making enormous feasts for myself on this show all the time. But I guess bon appetit. I'm going to take this piece because it was already flaked off so that I can easily break it away. And we're going to, before anything else, we're going to taste this straight. I actually think it's ever so slightly overdone. It's firm. It's a little bit firmer than I'm expecting. And you'll remember when I pulled it out of the vacuum seal, I mentioned that it had firmed up since I put it in there. And I'm wondering if what I'm detecting as being ever so slightly overdone is that extra firmness. It doesn't taste overdone. It tastes like a nice, fresh piece of tuna. But it has that slight firmness. I think the sauce will help. I wonder if the alcohol in the marinade dried it out a little bit and caused it to firm up like that. It tastes good. The fish is light, fresh. The seeds give a little bit of a crunch, and because they got toasted in the pan, they also have sort of a smokiness to them. I'm not really getting much of the gochugaru, and it might be because there's not as much of it in there, and it might be because it burned off a little bit, and it might be because that looking in the pan, it might not have stuck as well, and more of it has fallen off. But there's a little tiny hint of a heat in sort of the back end of it, which, frankly, I wouldn't want it to overpower what we're doing here. The fish should be the main event. When you've got a big, beautiful piece of meat like that, you celebrate it. You don't drown it in stuff and hide it. You want to celebrate a big, beautiful piece like that. Even in discount ones. But I think that this stuff, which I will stir up briefly, which if you'll remember is lime juice, rice vinegar, mirin, scallions, ginger, and quite a bit of black pepper. I think just a dab of that. I love how this, I mean, it flakes apart, you know, not perfectly, but very easily. Which is a sign that I've got it cooked properly. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, it's really good with this stuff. Miss Sepsi, hi, welcome. You're in time for the tasting today. It's really good with this. This was, if you'll remember when I tasted this by itself, I said it was too much. And then I added lime and more pepper to it. It is a good complement to this because it's not overwhelming the flavor of the tuna. It's not overwhelming the flavor of the fish itself. But it's adding a lovely acidity, a little bit of a bite. I need to just break that. A lovely acidity, a little bit of a bite. I'm not really getting the ginger or the scallion. And also a little bit of moisture. The fish is just ever so slightly dry, and I think that might be because of the alcohol. Which, it was a learning process to figure out what happens, and I think that's what happened. Is the alcohol dried it out just a little bit. So, we'll keep that in mind. When using alcohol, and it makes sense because where I got the idea to use alcohol is from cured fish, which you want to dry out. Yes, the rice. I was distracted by this delicious main event, but we have a side of rice that I wasted some saffron threads on. I don't know when you're going to need the extra limes, but they're there if we need them. Let's make sure we get one of those saffron threads in my first bite. Actually, the lime zest comes through quite well. So it's like, my saffron is definitely on the older side, so I don't have a really intense saffron flavor going on here. That is often the problem with saffron. It's very expensive, so you hold on to it, and by the time you get around to using it, it has aged and lost some of its potency because you're afraid of wasting it. Definitely what happened here. Still tastes like saffron, but it's not like really strong. It's gentle. It's a gentle saffron. If you've never tasted saffron, it doesn't taste like anything else. It's the flavor of saffron. It's a unique flavor. So I can't really say what it tastes like as a point of comparison. It just tastes like saffron, but just lightly. It's like a perfume, but not like a floral perfume. It's a warm, perfumey thing. It's really hard to describe without saying it tastes like saffron. I like the lime zest though. Some fresh lime zest kind of brightens it up a little bit. That's what all of this stuff is doing because we've got a big piece of meat. Frankly, this same service, the same setting would go really well with a steak or a big, like a beef steak, because we have the same ideas here. You've got something peppery, something acidic, something crunchy and acidic, fresh vegetables. What you've got is a bunch of bright, acidic, piquant, and fresh and textured things to go with a big central piece of meat. It's just in this case we use tuna. This stuff, if you've never had it, is also really hard to describe. Grab one of these extra leaves. This is shiso, red shiso. It's also perfumey, but in a very different way. It's a very strong flavor. It's almost like it's like the scent in a cleaning solution, but not the cleaner part. It's this strong, very floral, almost flower-like flavor. And it's very much in the flavor. You can smell it when you crush it with your finger, but it comes through a lot stronger when you taste it, when you chew it up. You'll see it as these are the leaves that go underneath sushi. If when you get a fancy sushi, they use the green ones, not the purple ones, but it's the same plant, different variety. And it's a good complement to something like this because it gives you that floral. It's another different thing. Just like the radishes. The radishes are slightly spicy, but they're mostly crunchy. To give you that contrast. And finally, our pickled shallot, which did not live in the pickle very long, is very acidic, still crunchy, but a different kind of acidity than the other ones. It's very elegant, and I think any one of these elements would be kind of underwhelming on its own. It's the kind of thing where you got to have it all together. To that end, I'm actually going to literally have it all together. Mmm. Mmm. Everything is very understated. Even the saffron rice, even the sauce. Like I'm only giving it a dab. It's very, very strong on its own, but you're only giving it a dab. Everything here is very understated. And they go really well together. I don't know if I'm ever going to find a piece of tuna that's that perfect again. That was so good. I have some frozen ones that I got ages ago. Vacuum sealed frozen tuna steak. And look at how piddly this is compared to this beautiful, beautiful, huge thing. I almost feel like they miscut this one and were just like, throw it in the discount bin because it was so beautiful. So yeah, I guess that's our show today. I'm gonna eat this, and when I get through this, I'll think about what to do with the extra little knob that's over there. Yeah. Yeah. So let's slide back up to my face. That's it. I'm back. We're here. We're in the saddle. My main event worked, so I did not have to resort to my backup. The backup is going to have to be used within a day, and it's here. I don't know if you can quite see it. It's a piece of meat. So I'm going to tentatively, based on my ability to get this thing cleaned up, one of the flies has returned, found my delicious meal here. That's good. My ability to get this thing cleaned up, we are tentatively going to say I'll cook that tomorrow. Well, I'm definitely cooking that tomorrow. We'll tentatively say if I'm doing a show. I'm going to get this fly. That might have been why they all came in last time too, because I was cooking something and they all came in to say that smelled good. Good thing he wasn't here earlier. So, yes, I'm back. We are going to attempt to just slide back into our regular schedule, which I will re-enable on the thing, Twitch. And yeah, that's our wrap up. Thanks again to Fraswar for the surprising raid. Always appreciated and wildly unexpected. Thank you for the follow. And I guess stay tuned for tomorrow, where we might cook that piece of meat and do something with it. And otherwise, I will see you on Friday. Thanks to WeFormer for subscribing. Thank you for another follow. Yeah, so let's see who we can raid off on. Some of you are still hanging around from Fraswar. We've got this whole new thing. From my follow list, please. We have... Oh, is Jen still on? Jen was doing Lego earlier, but has she wrapped up? I think she has. Well, I've been out for long enough that we're just going to drop off on an old favorite. We're going to drop off at an old favorite, LaFay. Oh, and is it? Oh my God, it is. Okay, then we're definitely going to see LaFay. I had no idea. Well, in that case, let's all go sing happy birthday to LaFay. I know she loves being sung to in chat. Let's do a raid message. Let's do an actual raid message. If you can. Here. If you can grab that, throw that in LaFay's face. That'll be good. Otherwise, do the same thing with the little dancing dino guy. He's my favorite. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for coming to the end with me. And we already discussed plans going forward. I will see you next time. And I will see that fly off. Bye.